Let's see if we have any technical problems, because there's always a chance. Admittedly, I have no idea if I'm live or not yet. And this is the deck we're going to go with. My Esper pile of stuff. Kind of extrapolated from a Mengucci list and kind of tweaked to my own personal preferences. I'm very quiet. Okay. I'll boost the microphone as best I can. I also just try and talk louder than I normally do. But yeah, it's kind of had my own tweaks, mainly because we'll see how this backfires. I don't seem to run into much aggro, which may be a mistake. And just things I prefer having. So a Dreamcrawler, an Ashiok. My take on wanting versatility is having a Singleton Fae of Wishes. And yeah, I've never really done one of these challenges before. 3 losses, I think it's like 7 wins to break even on the gold, which is something. This is where I play, I keep getting told that Grawl aggro is a big part of the meta, and I've yet to play it in about 20-30 games. So either I'm doing something wrong, or I just need to get out of the bad level. I mean, on the draw, well, no black mana, we've got Search. I think this is still a mulligan though. It's not a great deal better, but at least things come to play untapped. I've been Nebraska's contempt, because, well, probably actually been the Basilica Bellhorn because it's very unlikely we'll get to play it early. That's the Steam Decks. Just leading off with the island in case we draw a ground catacomb. Diligent Excavator. When you cast a historic spell, put the target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Is this the Kefis deck? Stone. Okay, yeah, so a self-milling Emery. And that is an Emery. So this is like some Factors Oracle. So this is some sort of self-mill win deck if I looks at it. Well, let's see what's going on with the rest of this. Fibblefip and 2 lands. Oh. Take that with the flip. Don't mind taking the extra land here. I presume Narset probably isn't horrible here. Well, you might turn off that Mind Stone if we're lucky. Yeah, that Factors Oracle. Yeah, now we definitely want to get this Narset down. Ah, Underworld Breach. Okay. So that's what we need to watch out for. Yep, did that on the stack. So that's unfortunate. I think it's probably best to put Narset down this turn. I've not played against the Breach deck yet, so I'm not entirely sure how it works or what to play around. But I feel like Narset's probably the best stance of it to have here.
Mind and body should
Oh, that'll be fine.
Just the trick for this.
Mortify seems pretty good because that will hit Underworld Breach, so happy to take that one in hand. Hopefully this buys us some time to kind of get control of things. And having the second Narset's quite nice in this way as well.
Just wait a moment.
Okay. Well, let's play the Searcher's Counter. We can hold up Mortify in case there's a chance they kind of split their attacks on the Narset. Or if we need to kill like a Thassa's Oracle or something, or an Underworld Breach. Mox Amber, so milling another Amber in a Hallowed Fountain. I don't think I'm going to waste the Mortify to protect Narset here. And it doesn't even do anything at this point. But we do get to play Narset next turn. So there will be. We get to play some cards this turn. Some more mill. Oh, okay, so they've milled 3 breaches now. I don't know if there's an alternative win condition. I assume Thassa is. The Thassa's Oracle is the alternative win condition. I'm not actually playing against any Thassa's Oracle deck, so I don't know if you kill it on the stack if that fizzles the whole thing. I think I would like to do 2 things this turn. Well, certainly digging. I think the problem is that having not played against this deck, I don't exactly know how to stop it or how it works.
Practiced against that. Hone your prowess.
I mean, Fort Erasure seems pretty tempting to disrupt whatever's going on. Teferi and a Witching Well. I feel like I'm more scared of the Teferi. Don't think I want this land at this point. I guess I was hoping they'd opted into some Underworld Breaches there. I mean, perhaps I should just be holding up Mortify anyway. So we're going to go attacking Narset.
Fury will only lead you astray.
There goes another Thassa's Oracle. Down to 24 cards in library. Well, I feel like we just passed the turn here. I guess the Elspeth Conquers Death non-creature thing could potentially come into hand. Could potentially come in handy at some point, but they've got a pretty decent amount of mana. Okay, well, let's protect the Narset. And we're not really getting much use out of the Contempt otherwise. I feel like our best draw here is honestly the Fae of Wishes to grant it a Mordigo. The opponent knows we have this Mortify, so... Okay, so they're going to go something here. So we're going to just counter the first thing. Well, we're just going to... Ah, yeah, I guess that works against the Mortify, doesn't it? So Mortifying here doesn't really do anything, does it? This is why I'm looking to you for helpful advice. Ah, I didn't see the Dance of the Mances in the graveyard. I suppose if they play Teferi, that's a bit of a pain for us as well, because then we don't do anything, so...
That only time will tell.
Okay, so I'm just going to kill this Emery now, to take away some amount of blue devotion. I'm probably just dead here. And I've got 2 mana left, can't draw any extra cards. "22 cards in library." I've just not been tracking the graveyard to realise that they've actually had all their Underworld Breaches. Oh no, one of them was played out of hand. Scope cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus 3 exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. Okay, so there goes Emery. 1 mana left. Two mana left. Oh, you can keep looping the Moxhandlers for a while? Oh, I just don't know how this deck works. So I guess they're looking to mill enough that the Thassa's Oracle will be a kill.
I've got it.
Okay, well they don't draw anything for that at least. And I feel like they don't have to win this turn. I guess they also might not hit the Oracle at the right point. Well, I assume it's pretty hard for them to fizzle here. I guess you just keep looping Emerys until you can Thassa's Oracle for the win. Devotion to blue is 1, 2, 3. With another Oracle will be 4 and 5. But I guess at this point you can just loop everything forever. I mean, I assume they have it, but I have to kind of make them play it out. Okay, well now I know what this deck does. So Ashiok seems good. Unmoored Ego seems good. Helios Intervention, Disputes, Duress, Fort Distortion, Dovin's Vetoes, so... Kai seems bad, Kai's Wrath seems bad. Actually, that would be horrible. Narcissus and Fairy seem good. Raska's Contempt doesn't seem great. Neither do the cast downs, because Emery's legendary anyway. I guess the Mortifiers can stick in because they can hit enchantments. And Elspeth Conquers Death actually might just be pretty weak here as well. As opposed to maybe this can slow down like a Diligent Excavator or something. So it doesn't hits to Fairy. I guess this could show some Oracle stuff, I don't know. Horn of Reach. So part of the problem is like having been like kind of stuck in gold tier, I probably possibly haven't seen a lot of these decks. Because I have been playing against like largely field decks, other control decks, and a whole array of things. This isn't a great hand. And the Ashiok's good. The Mystical Dispute and Arson are great. 45% chance to hit a land, but I really need to hit in the first 2 draw steps. Ooh. I mean, this isn't amazing in itself, but I kind of feel like I can't really throw it back either. I have to get used to this. This is like the first time I've played anything that's like even vaguely resembling a competitive deck. Spell Pierce, Witching Well, Diligent Excavator. And the well's going to happen anyway because of Emery, so I might as well just get rid of Spell Pierce now. Like, we might need to hit a big catch-up spell. I don't really want to have that pierced. That was a pretty nice scroll. How much do I really care about Stonecoil Serpent? There's a lot in the deck that's multicolour. So, I mean, Helios Intervention doesn't hit it. And this could legitimately be a big problem for us. I guess Cast Down hits as well. Yeah, I thought I'd got ways to deal with that. I mean, we're not being pressured heavily. Resolving this to Fairy would be a pretty big deal, but it's just too slow. What are they doing next turn? Playing a Diligent Excavator? Feels like we have time just to smooth it out. It's the second blue source as well for a lot of our key cards, so no land drop for the opponent. And then they didn't play the Excavator, so I guess they just F6'd. Yeah, kind of fine for lands now. If you would not mind getting. They could just play a Serpent on 3. I'll do it on 2. We'll do Oracle and something else. Can't really race a Stonecoil Serpent exactly. Oh, that's not ideal. Okay, well that was... kind of wanted to get ahead while the opponent's struggling on lands. It was an unfortunate result. So Khan got sideboarded in. Well, let's Bellhaunt to get something out of the hand. Something they want to protect by the looks of it. I'm not going to mess around with counter spells, I'm just going to deal with that now, because that's actually, you know, a pretty pertinent clock in what looks like a game that isn't going to involve the combo for a while. I'd rather start trying to beat down. Like, I feel like they're not going to block this excavator. And if we can apply some pressure, I think that helps us quite a bit. Let's see if Teferi rolls. If so, I think I'm bouncing the excavator just to slow things down. Again, like, the opponent seems to be quite stuck right now, so I'm kind of happy to try and push our momentum.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
I'm just going to play that, because if we draw things like Dream Trawler, or like a 5-mana spell, or a 4-mana spell that we want to resolve, it just gets around Mystic Dispute. Going to do that on the draw step.
I got this.
I mean, this is quite a nice situation to be in, because it's kind of encouraging the attacks on Teferi, which means it's easier for us to try and get in our attacks with the Bellhaunt. That's what's going on in the hand. Underworld Breach, Mox Amber, Blink of an Eye. And the Amber's not doing a great deal here. Blink's not amazing, but the Breach feels like it could be dangerous though. We are going to get some triggers off this excavator.
Time for Plan B.
I wonder what the Blink of an Eye might be used on. Could buy some time. And there goes another Oracle. This would be a good time to hit like Ashiok or something, just to get rid of a lot of this stuff.
Here goes nothing.
I'm not seeing quite a few lands, but you know, we kept a
Want me to
4-land hand, so I can't be too upset about that. So this is being blinked now. And it's not getting countered on the way down, so this kind of gives us a free discard and a block on the excavator, so I guess they just want to slow down the attacks here. I have to assume I've got something they're just happy to get rid of as well, otherwise this doesn't make that much sense to me as a play. Gets rid of a Mox Amber. Okay, well, Emery's, that's an annoying one. So what can make Emery back? Mox Amber, Mind Stone. Can't definitively not an artifact.
I'll protect you.
Gonna continue with the attacks here. I feel waiting around doesn't really help the situation for us. This Dispute might come in handy. Stonecoil Serpent. So let's hope they don't play around Mystical Dispute here. And they go for like 5. No, if they go for 5 they can pay for it. Yeah, they can. Excavator. Okay, I'm gonna counter that. Another breach in there. There's okay, a Wishing Well in there's quite annoying.
I'm getting too old for this.
Oh man. Okay, yeah, I figured they'd have to start blocking at some point.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
I mean, we're kind of hoping for them to brick off a bit more, but with the Emery it's going to be difficult. You know, getting the Scry draw too. Feels like it would have been in decent shape. If not for... You know, we have hit quite a few lands. I think the best draw on my deck is like Fort Distortion or Ashiok at this point. because otherwise it feels like they're going to find that last breach soon enough. As the attack comes in.
Enough.
Okay, well another Stone Core Serpent's quite annoying. Oh, they milled us this time and hit our Ashiok Green Render. That's brutal.
That's more like it.
That's absolutely brutal. Maybe they fit. Well, there's actually no point in attacking now. It's a free block for them. You can block something else. Very clutch decision for them to mill us there, because we would have drawn that Ashiok. It looks like they're just going for the Stone Core Serpent approach now. Which isn't great for us. I mean, I played around this School Dispute this time. I mean, it's a hell of a clock. Okay, so it's Fairy down. I would like to not have that. Oh wow, this is quite a lot of lands. Okay, so that's Elspeth Conquer's Death. Oh, that's going to get countered. Yeah. Well, we're in quite a bit of trouble now. It felt like it was going so well. But now I think we've got problems. I mean, realistically, our best out now is Granted for Kaya's Wrath. And even then, we still have to deal with the combo element. Although it does give us a bit of a Fae of Wishes loop at that point. But yeah, the Elspeth Conquer's Death would have been nice there. Just slowed down the clock and let us get to another attack in. Would have allowed us to get Ashiok back. But now we've got problems from all angles. Because this in itself is a 2-turn clock. And I'm glad Stone Core Serpent seeing some work. Like, I suspect this will be a big player in Standard. Like, any of the ramp decks just feel like they have a whale of a time of it. Okay. Is Fairy getting countered as well? Okay, well, I'm actually kind of fine with that, because it wasn't doing that much for us. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have played it and just as counter for something more relevant from the off. That will not be enough. Well, not a great start. Felt slightly unfortunate in some ways. But you know, what can you do? This is not a great hand, but we're a land heavy deck and we've got the Surveil, and I really like just being able to talk to turn 2 for Eurasia in this format, especially if you get to do it twice. Croxer, Elspeth's Nightmare, Murderous Rider. Well, they're quite a while away from these Croxers. Elspeth's Nightmare is close to blank against us. The Murderous Rider will cause us some problems. And of course, if they hit a mountain, then the Croxers begin to stack up. So I think, yeah, the Elspeth's Nightmare you can just play as a very slow duress at some point. Knight of Legion. That's okay. This kind of must be like a black red aggro type thing. We will take one of these now. I'll continue to fix my mana. Going for the pump. Okay, so we take a big chunk here. That's fine. Hopefully they go for the same thing next turn. And we get to mortify. If not, I think I'll wait. Okay. I'll hopefully find a land here to kind of capitalise on the slow start from the opponent. Always want to find this into a Dovin's Veto. Okay, so as long as if Teferi survives, we're in a pretty nice spot. If not, we do have some. Still got a fit a bit going on. The opponent is definitely stuck on lands, which helps to no end. Let's play the Hallowed Fountain. And it is one of the problems I do have with the deck, is that you can find these situations and you can find like a lot of reactive cards. It's not very good at closing the game out, and I suppose that's the advantage of playing like Esper hero. You've been libated. Okay, so this is more of a discard deck. It's almost like an 8-ramp deck. We will discard this Goblin Shrine.
Terrific thing to waste.
Ooh.
No time for a break.
I'm just going to get rid of the Davriel now. Just because it gets it off the board. We continue to kind of apply pressure to them with the non-creature element, and I don't get to bring anything back at this point. But if they find a Murderous Rider for Teferi, because they've got to act on this Teferi pretty quickly, then it will come back. That's a nice place to be in. Ashiok may not be pale enough in this format, but if you ever get to untap with Ashiok, they take over the game. Like, Ashiok will take over the game quite quickly. Okay, so they now get to use this.
Let's slow this down.
So I'm going to get to rest. So more for me. I suppose not having a Cryo's Wrath in hand isn't great, but if I Nast it now, I can pretty much play anything I want at this amount of mana, so it's actually worth doing.
Keep an open mind.
Completely worth. Well. The opponent will get to take the Cryo's Wrath. The Graveyard Exile will be a bit annoying. Man, they are not hitting mountains. Okay. So let's try Nast first.
Meditate and prepare.
Teferi. I'll ask Teferi.
Hurry!
I'm doing this because I was hoping to find an answer to this Murderous Rider, but alas. Could keep this back on blocks. I think I'll do. Also put Ashiok into ultimate and surviving range.
Sorry I'm late.
Let's just do this for
Don't
zero.
make
In hindsight, I should have
Might
done
be
that
a bad
first.
idea.
But it still works, so. I just want to start exiling stuff because we might hit a nice Ashiok ultimate. Do we find Burglar at Davriel Shadow Mage? Okay, so this is feeling... Like, whenever you've got 4 planeswalkers on the board, you can't feel too sad, especially when 2 of them are pretty much at ultimate range. If they've got a kill spell, I'd assume you'd go for Teferi, but... Okay, that worked out quite well. So this is black-red. Against Sears Croxes was quite nice. So they're making us discard... but it looks like they might have some graveyard synergies. So the Spark seemed good here. I don't think this is quite an Ashiok game. Don't think it's quite Enter the God Eternals. Don't think Duress. The Devout Decrees come in. We didn't get to see too much, so I'm a little bit wary of over sideboarding. Ophir Kaya seemed like it'd be good. Belhaunt seemed fine. A lot of this seemed fine, actually. What's not great here? Didn't see too many uses for Dovin's Veto. Didn't see too much card draw, so we can take out one Narset. And maybe one Kaya's Wrath. Yeah, let's try this. Still learning deck, still experimenting. Like, I feel like I can very much get into Historic. I feel like I already am in Historic, but like, this seems fine. Kind of get into it in the same way that like I really put a lot of time into mastering my modern deck of choice before kind of like falling out the game and whatnot. Artifact of Creature card. Yeah, I've definitely played against another deck which brought Divest in against me, and it didn't feel amazing because the deck doesn't really play any artifacts. It doesn't play many creatures. And you do run into the chance that, you know, you essentially just mould yourself there. Okay, so we get to 4 Erasure here. We get to turn 3 Narset. Liliana's Triumph is pretty bad against us. Davriel would be really annoying. Burglarat is medium. Divest, as discussed, is pretty bad. Stonecoil Serpent is probably what I'm going to take, because we can Devout Decree Davriel. And that just has the potential that, you know, we do have an Elspeth Conquers Death in hand. I'm just going to keep this in hand so we can discard like a different land next turn, because they're going to Burglar at us or Davriel us. Ratted we are. But yeah, I kind of... Like, we could Elspeth Conquers Death or Stonecoil Serpent. No, but actually we can't, it's CMC 3 or less. So like, we really have no ways of dealing with that, so I'm kind of fine with my decision.
With focus and with thoughtfulness before action.
Take another Narset. Elspeth Conquers Death might not be the best against this deck, if I'm completely honest, but it seems to be doing work. There's a hard card to board out in a lot of cases, just because it offers quite a lot.
Evil, I'll side with whomever brews the best tea. What? Don't think you'll be needing
Oh god,
that.
Planeswalker love voice lines. Okay, so let's get rid of you. I'm not going to minus Narset, just because I actually want that land. And as someone who's very guilty of making a mistake where you put something on top and then mill yourself, I'd rather not make that mistake on stream. I've done it more than enough times. And we don't get to activate this Narset again, but it's kind of drawing some fire from this Burglarat.
You cannot see your folly.
So, I guess they could divest us here. I assume that's what they do. Oh, they found another Stonecoil Serpent. That's really quite annoying. We don't have many ways of dealing with that. And if we play Teferi, Teferi's going to die pretty quickly. Teferi will be at 4 loyalty, will be at 5 loyalty, so Teferi will just die straight away. I think we play another Narset here and just get an answer.
I train every day. I have just the trick
Like
for
a Kaya's
this.
Wrath. As much as I'd love to have the Ascanter, like that Stonecore Serpent is, I can see why people are boarding it in against control decks, because they just, you really have very few ways of dealing with it. I suppose the best answer is probably like Vanishing Light. Okay, so Divest is going to whiff. Hopefully I don't have a Duress to go with it. I assume this will be the end of Narset. Yeah, that scans. Okay, well, I have to assume, yeah, I have to assume that's going to work. I can't think of anything that would stop it. And then we got a blank slate. We know one of their cards is a virtual blank. I'm going to get rid of the Elspeth Conquest Effer, I think. Like, Burglar Rat can keep Teferi at a medium 4. And I'm kind of okay with that.
I know.
So
my response,
hopefully
need to
we can
move
just
quickly.
bury the opponent in advantage for now. And definitely feel advantage at this point, but you know, one Murderous Rider or eat to extinction and we're back to square one. Okay, they're going to attack us, which means Teferi's probably dying. Or they just feel it's not worth it. Curious decision.
Hold that thought.
Okay. Stop unusual stuff. Like Teferi is both Teferis are like in combination are so horrible to play against. But in no less situation than the instant speed for Erasure, as soon as you get stopped there, you know it's gonna be frustrating for you because you can't even respond to it. God, I don't really care about either of the. I mean, Libation could hit a search or an Elspeth Conquest F, so there's reasons. There's an argument for bouncing the Burglar out there, but again, they're keeping everything at an the Burglar just keeps our Planeswalkers at an even keel. Still attacking us. Fine. I feel like in a pretty good spot here. Okay, now I feel in a great spot here.
Let's skip to the good part.
I mean, they're going to get to use that.
Trust me.
They're going to get to use the Liliana's Crown. But yeah, I have to figure the opponent's pretty much drowning at this point. Yeah, that's what I figured. Oh, that was a nice one. Feels like the opponent never really got going. I think some of the sideboarding decisions from them didn't really make sense to me. Maybe they thought it was Esper Hero. I mean, it's not the perfect hand, but on the draw, 4 lands and as Canter feels pretty solid. Ooh. Although against an aggressive deck, the Veto and the Elspeth Conquest Death begin to look a lot worse. Okay, so this is a life gain deck. So the veto's not going to hit much outside of like Banishing Lights and like Ajani Planeswalkers. Sarah. So this is basically the deck where you're looking for your Rafts. Oh, I mean, Conclave Tribunal, that's a pain. Like, we're in pretty rough shape here to start off with. And drawing a bunch of our expensive cards is not ideal. At least we have a target for Elspeth Conquer's Death now. But yeah, we're in there very much like, we definitely need to start drawing the right cards and soon. Okay, 2, 3, 8, 9. I mean, there's every chance we could die next turn. But I feel like in either instance, the best case is to dig for a Wrath.
Hone your prowess.
Cast Down won't do a great deal. But it might buy us some time. This might be lethal. Does Linden trigger on every attacker? Yes. So we are dead. So I'm not massively set up for this deck, but hopefully gets better after sideboard. Okay, so Dovin's Veto seems pretty poor. Elspeth Conquer's Death. There might be a reason for a singleton one. Dreamcrawler seems slow. But we do not have a great slew of options here. Enter the God Eternals is slow. D-Spark doesn't hit much. I mean, this is probably one of the advantages in the long term of playing against... Yeah, I mean, this kind of does some early countering. There's probably tokens in there somewhere, but that's not a guarantee. I go for the early... One Dispute, one Helios Intervention, maybe. So, yeah, like going to see more of the meta will allow me to tune my sideboard, because my sideboard's very much tuned towards kind of mid-range control and field. And because I just haven't played against any fast aggro. Yeah, I'm happy with this, because we've got most of the mana we need for a Wrath. The Velhorn buys time. Get to do some Forte raising. Because as long as you avoid the cards that get super out of hand early on, it's not that bad. We now have Wrath mana, which is good. Heliod, Primate. So take a Heliod, keep a Cast Down. But Heliod's one of the cards I figured would probably be in this deck, but do not have great ways of dealing with. So 4 Razor again, take the other Heliod. Hopefully they play... Do I want to put... Yeah, I probably want another land. Hopefully they play the next Pridemate and we get to Kaya's Wrath. And... Oh, but they just ruin a Heliod. That's a problem. That is a problem. I definitely get that thing that people joke about on Mitgo, where you discard something out of someone's hand and they just immediately top deck the card that you made them discard. I mean, there's an argument for not doing that there, but there's a lot of scenarios in which they can just hit us with devotion at instant speed. So I guess we want to try and kill this primate. I mean, do we have... I guess we've got Vraska's Contempt and an Elspeth Conquer's Death deals with it, so... But yeah, still not feeling particularly stable at this point. I'm gonna play Narset out. The Bellhaunt doesn't do a great deal yet.
There are so
I'd
many.
rather find
You
more
could use some
answers.
training. Keep an open mind.
Okay. All of these are good options. I mean, Ashiok could potentially bounce and exile something, but the problem is when your opponent knows that you have it, they can play around that. Could just bounce that bird. Also makes blockers. It's fair. I don't. Feels like it's probably Ashiok. Like, I guess even if we make them play stuff in hand, then that's where the Bellhaunt could come into handy. So say you hold an actual creature up. Okay, well that's not bad actually. Are they going to attack us? Or that's it. Okay, right, so this is going to deal with Heliod.
Interesting technique.
I mean, there's an argument for doing it to the bird. Because if we do this with Ashiok, then Ashiok is going to die. Although, bounce the bird, Ashiok goes down to 2 loyalty, bird is gone, Soul Warden attacks down to 1 and we can start creating blockers. I think that might be the better play. Because this allows us to keep Ashiok, which comes up the ground. And the flyer is actually something we can't deal with right now.
There is little as you must be subdued. I will be
I guess the worst thing to see here would be like a Linden, because that would turn on Heliod, and then we would lose a lot. Air Ascendant is also kind of what I wanted to see. Oh, right, yeah. The Heliod static ability doesn't help here, does it? Okay, that probably maybe should have been Heliod then. I mean, I think that's... It could go either way. Oh god, that's sickly annoying. Yeah, I should have got rid of Heliod. I've not really played against it. In hindsight, we would have got that, because yeah, we were probably going to lose Ashiok anyway. That's not great. I mean, we definitely need a Wrath now. Or it might just be dead anyway. So 1 off. So Wrath or bust. We could also potentially have Narset into Wrath. Sick. I mean, we're still not in great shape. But that's something. That's something. I'm gonna get rid of this Heliod.
Well, I'm not ready
for
for
now.
this quite yet.
It just buys us time to find an answer. I can't really see what you're saying if it's in Messenger, just because I don't have the setup for that. I mean, 4 Age could potentially come in
We need to
handy
move quickly.
if we found like a Mini Teferi, and we found Mini Teferi.
I'm known for my excellent height.
Gonna keep Teferi at +5. Because basically, whatever they draw here, we can bounce. Oh wow, they conceded at 42 life. That was handy. Okay. I'm kind of more inclined to bring Elspeth Conquers Death now. Although I'll continue to be really annoyed at the fact that Dovin's Veto and Duress do not hit Heliod. Okay, this is bad. This is bad. This only hits 1 thing. Dream Trawler could honestly, if we get there, be a big chunky enough blocker, but that thing gets out of hand. Because it closes out the game quickly. And Disputes could be handy. I don't know. I'm going to think about it while I go to the bathroom. Okay, I think I like the second Elspeth Conquers Death over the Fae of Wishes. Yeah, I do. Okay, and this is a tricky one because Heliod is what feels like it'll make this matchup difficult beyond the strategy of hit an early Wrath or make them slow enough, because it just sticks around. It makes everything continually just explode on you. But I came back from 1 life there, so got a mana. Teferi will buy time. Narset will buy time. I don't hate this hand. Like, I don't... Like, when I think of what does an ideal 6 look like, it realistically has to be like 4 lands. Or like 3 or 4 lands. 4 Erasure and Kaya's Wrath. I don't know what the likelihood is of finding that. It's a slow start from them. Okay, well we have an answer to Heliod this time. We just want to buy time, so Teferi will just be sacrificed. Maybe Teferi won't be sacrificed now. We'll kill this bird. Which means it's less likely Heliod gets turned on, because this provides 0 devotion. That's not happening anyway. Any effects? Let's try and kill this. Try and cause an overextension. Like, I don't know if this deck would play like God's Willing. I assume that it might. But yeah, I'm kind of happy to slow things down to this extent so far. Did I shock myself for no reason that turn? No, I didn't. Okay, Serra Ascendant. Okay, Mortify is quite nice. Yeah, play this tapped. Yeah, so the plan here is Mortify something here. Untap, Elspeth Conquers Death, Heliod. Apostle of Purifying Light. And then maybe kind of use the two Teferis and Nasa in conjunction. And even we could, because we're going to Elspeth Conquers Death, we could even like just fling a Teferi Time Raveler under the bus, knowing that we'll get it back. I don't think the Mortify changes that decision. Like, if anything, it might make it nicer because we might hit another land, and then that means we can kind of bounce one Teferi, kill the other Mortify. Yeah, second Heliod. That's not fantastic, but here you go. I really want a Teferi Time Raveler token. I can't mortify this. And what does playing Big Teferi do? It either dies immediately, or like there's chances that we just die next turn. I think I like just taking the threat out. And unfortunately, I think I just bounce this one.
I won't. Might be a bad idea.
That was not the hit we wanted to find. The Castle Ardenvales are slightly worrying as well. If I'd seen Legion's Landing and Castle Ardenvale in previous games, I may have considered. Okay, let's say having Shaman removal here, this kind of works out for us, because that Teferi is just going to bounce another thing when it returns. Oh, sick.
I know.
Didn't exile it, maybe that was the plan? We're going to do the sorcery speed Fire's Wrath here.
The hero thing before.
But yeah, if I'd known about Legion's Landing and Castle Ardenvale, I probably would have either kept in Fey of Wishes or brought in at least one Virulent Plague. Conclave Tribunal. Okay, well let's Wrath now. While we start at sorcery speed. Teferi will go by. But we've got one.
This isn't a fight you can win. Hold
I think
that
we just
thought.
want to find card advantage. For now. Like, we're not at immediate risk of dying. I don't think there's going to be anything with haste. So if we can draw to another Wrath or something. Alseid of Life's Bounty. And there is the risk that Heliod could get turned on this turn. It does. Okay. We can mortify Teferi. We can mortify the Conclave Tribunal with Teferi underneath it. Use that Teferi to bounce the other Conclave Tribunal. Then use Big Teferi to get rid of Heliod's Suncrowned and Forterasia the other Conclave Tribunal. Which I think is the play here.
This isn't a fight you can win.
This also makes it less likely that
I am not making
this Heliod
go.
will do anything. Oh, the mystical dispute makes this interesting as well.
Time for plan B. You need to slow down.
Okay. So next turn they can play Daxos and Agani's Promate and threaten some pretty tricky attacks. We get at least one card draw. Plus 5 analysis needs to do. Okay, they're only looks like they're only playing one thing. I know, yeah, this Teferi's going to die actually. That's worth bearing in mind. Just keep us at 4. Okay, so I think
Let's try this.
we have 8 mana. And we're at a very risk of dying here. I think the best play is to play Narset and minus. Hope we hit a Wrath. Or an Oath of Kaya, or something to that extent. Actually, Oath of Kaya's not great against the Alisade. Not much is great against the Alisade. Or like Enter the God Eternals to kill Daxos. Because it would still deal the 4, I think. And then if that fails, play Teferi and bounce the Daxos back into the library. It will die, but that's how it goes.
If you wish to surrender now, just wait a
I
moment.
hope here is fine around.
Meditate and prepare.
Okay, well, I guess the thing is, like, you could also potentially see the Alisade sacrifice to protect Daxos here. At least we then don't have to deal with the protection, and the current situation encourages them to attack the Planeswalkers rather than us. Although I think if they had attacked us last time, they probably would have some more outs to kill us. But this does buy us more time with the Narset and a Teferi draw. So on, as long as this isn't Heliod yet. But we are very much in Wrath or Lose phase here. Okay, took out Teferi. I'm glad about that because I think Narset's got more chance of finding us what we need.
I've got it.
With thoughtfulness before action.
Oh, we're taking it to Teferi. And we have to get rid of the Pride Mate. Narset. We can play Narset and Teferi and hold up Mystical Dispute, I think. Gotta be super careful with the mana though.
My prowess is unmatched.
I almost got rid of the wrong one there.
I have just the trick.
Okay, there's the Wrath. Like, Heliod is going to get played next turn. And we have one unknown card, but we now get to flip search. We have a Teferi bounce with a fresh Teferi. And that Teferi bounce, unless this is a land, could set up what we need. You can go to the graveyard.
I've got time.
Oh, Ashok's such a good draw. I was going to Bell Haunt it away, but now we can Ashok the token away as well.
regrets of the dead.
It just deals with the Heliod.
I will surrender every morsel of fear.
Okay, the leg is conceded. Oh, that required some thinking. I feel like I took the right routes there. I mean, we won, which kind of implies yes, but you never know. Ugh. Pretty pleased with that one. Like, that felt like it had a few tricky lines. I feel like used all the resources pretty well. Like, this is one of the fun things about the deck, is you've got so many opportunities to draw cards. It's like, do you Fairy Bounce? Do you to draw? Do you Narset minus? I think this is why I always find it very hard to take Narset out, even in, like, when your opponent's playing aggressively. Is like, seeing 4 cards helps, and often Narset just eats an attack or two. I think there's a chance we would have lost if our opponent had started attacking us before the Narsets or the other Planeswalkers. That's one of the other kind of like inherent advantages of a Planeswalker deck is people end up attacking the Planeswalkers instead of you, sometimes when they shouldn't. I guess allows you to create some favourable situations. I also think the main reason to play this deck is it's incredibly fun to play. I have no idea if it's like a tier deck or strong in the meta, but I do find it just really interesting to play and trying to figure out, you know, the best lines and whatnot. I just had an explosion, which makes me think my opponent has just immediately conceded. It's a draw, okay. Arena does that sometimes. I've got no idea what causes it. It's just annoying. Like, I don't know if it's like Dota where you can like dodge a Q at the last second or something. Okay. Garrett in the hand. I mean, the mana could be better, but this seems like a serviceable hand. We'll know how useful the Dovin's Veto is pretty soon. I mean, you sometimes end up in matchups where you kind of lead off with this Teferi Narset combination, and if there's no pressure on it, it just does lock your opponent out of the game. Okay, they went to 6. Lead out on that. I wish this was a Fort Rager, but I kind of also it is. Ooh, Godless Shrine. Well, if this is a control mirror, then I absolutely want to play this to not get Fort Ragered. Mind Stone. I feel like there's going to be better things to counter, but right now I have no idea what's going on. I am going to slow things down.
You'll thank me later. Don't make another
Like, if the opponent plays Mind Stone,
I'll protect you.
I feel like this Teferi won't come under pressure immediately, and if it would come from like a Murderous Rider. And Mind Stone always makes me think combo. So. Phyrexian Arena. I mean, I've got no idea what's going on.
Trust me, I have a plan.
I feel like this Narset's going to be handy. Because that kind of negates the arena effect. Ooh, Fleet Whiff. We get the nice. There's a Mind Stone. Hopefully get Fort Rager here. Yeah. Like, this is one of those cases where I really want a Fort Rager, just because I really, really want to understand what's going on.
Here goes nothing.
I will still do this on draw step, because the only thing I would potentially do is Mortify. Okay, so you draw. Because I have to know I deal with this Narset sooner rather than later. And that's why I hold the Mortify for it. Ah. cool. So the arena's useless, the Shattered Sky is pretty useless. Eldest Reborn and Teferi we can kind of counter. So yeah, let's take Doom Foretold. Let's keep another Fort Erasure. Okay. I mean, as a connoisseur of Doom Foretold decks, I really do enjoy Doom Foretold as a concept.
Here we go.
So the opponent is stuck on blue. And they could... I think the debate is whether to just play Teferi here and just try and bury in card advantage. I guess the worst thing for us is if they hit an untapped blue source minus the Narset away, and then the Phyrexian arenas would actually begin to really stack up. Because we'd be forced to kind of deal with the Teferi in the sense of finding an answer for it. I'm going to upkeep this one again, just in case like they find something that I really don't want them to have. So it feels like we could negotiate around Teferi, but okay, well, that's why you do it. I don't think I'll look at it, right. I'm possibly lost out on some sort of advantage by not doing that when I could have, but yeah, Castle Ardenvale is going to be annoying here, so that is going to put pressure on the on Narset. I mean, it's going to kill Narset basically. I guess we can Elspeth Conquer's Death Narset back. Let's go for Search. I feel safe doing this with Teferi, A, because I already have
Time
one,
for plan B.
and B,
That's more like it.
I feel like you would attack the Narset here, given you've got two Phyrexian arenas. We need to find a kind of permanent answer to this Ardenvale. But right now I'm just going to try and like chip it away with cast downs and stuff like that. Oh, Brain Maggot. Oh, I can't remember how Brain Maggot works. I absolutely cannot remember how Brain Maggot works. I'm not killing it on the stack here because in my head, if you kill Brain Maggot on the stack, you lose the card forever. And that's not something we want. I'm still doing this though. I just want to slow things down for long enough. Okay, yeah. So we get to plus Teferi again.
Don't worry.
And we're going to Ashiok. So the Ashiok, they'll either exile the Brain Maggot, in which case we still have answers for that. But it means they have to get rid of it. Okay, so that's enough card advantage. Ashiok's really great in these situations, like dropping it on turn 6 or 7, so... Okay, so you're looking at like a Doom Foretold. This is probably like Dance of the Manse as well. I don't know how much I actually probably want this. Probably want the Helios Intervention. Probably want the Disputes. Want Duress. I'll bring in one Virulent Plague. Fort Distortion, Veto. The Spark seems good. Ashiok seems good. I'm not normally a big fan of bringing in Unmoored Ego. I normally bring it in like specifically for matchups where I need one card to win and one card only, and also Nexus of Fate. I might bring it in here just if there's enough things to get rid of. So the cast downs aren't fantastic. Fae of Wishes may stay in. Dispute's great. These Mortify is handy. The Oaths of Kaya, the Vraska's Contempt can actually stay in. This definitely has targets. The Wraths are actually pretty cool here. Okay, still too many cards. Dreamcrawler feels like a very difficult card for this deck to deal with. Although, if it's like Wraths and Doom Foretold, it might actually be great here. The Bellhorns seem fine. Really don't know. That's good. If I can't decide, I'll just take out. I'll just keep on extra card, which I know is technically wrong on so many levels. But I mean, this is one of the reasons like I like the Fae of Wishes is that sometimes there's cards in that sideboard that would still be useful in very niche situations, and it's nice to just have access to it. I mean, with Nas, we don't get to play Narset. We do get the Fort Erasure to stop anything happening too early on. And it gives us a Surveil. We're on the draw. We're not really cared about. We don't really care about taking damage off the shocks anyway. It's just not that kind of matchup. I mean, the Fae, where the Fae is really come in handy most often has been. It's probably going to take a Fort Erasure, I assume. Although it might take Narset. Yeah, it takes Narset. Oath of Kaya, Dance of the Manse, Search to Fairy, Omen. I don't really care about Oath of Kaya. Dance, it's not great to deal with. Kind of want to take Search, yeah. I guess taking Search because I feel like this is going to be a long grindy game in which I do not want them to have the advantage of using Search very well. Domi Veto is quite nice. Is there anything they might play here? That's super threatening, not really, so I'm just going to get my Search down. But yeah, like the Fae of Wishes has been really handy against field decks. Like I've been able to steal a lot of game ones by just granteding for. Just want a second blue source here. And like just like less whittle down the hand of it. Like it's probably Oath of Kaya that's going, but one less thing to deal with in case we want like Teferi or something. Windstone, cool. Good. Also cool. Yeah, you just like granted for the Fae of Wishes, and it just shuts game one down quite a lot of the time. Scry 2 to the top. This definitely makes me want to hold up Dovin's Veto. There it is. Although we are going to go for Teferi because we get to untap with a Veto.
No time for a break.
Also a Fort Erasure afterwards. I like pressuring. Like I want to force the action for the opponent. To be honest, like it would be nice to get to Teferi Ultimate, but if the Brain Maggot is attacking, it just puts us ahead on damage, and that's a nice place to be. Okay, that's quite nice for us as well. Especially because that gets us close to his counter range. I really do want to drop the Ashiok here, but...
You know what? I'm not done yet.
Okay, well that was kind of ideal. Fairy, keep Mortify. I probably need to slow down actually, I'm playing very quickly here, which is a big problem of mine.
I am not. I'll protect you.
So the Dance of the Manse is doing very little right now. I guess it gets Search and Oath back, and Elspeth Conquers Death. So actually we do need to be kind of wary of that. I can do that for 4 and get all of this. That's actually something to watch out for. Yeah, definitely something to watch out for. I didn't even thought about that. Maybe we should have taken the Dance from the Manse. Okay, so
No more games.
I can dance for 4. I think I want this. I think I want this. Let's draw off to Fairy first. Really want a Fort Erasure or something along those lines.
Keep up the pace.
Yeah, Warrior, wasn't it? I also wish I still knew what was in my sideboard. I'm just trying to think of a scenario where we can exile this Dance of the Manse. I think just involves drawing cards, so...
Stop that. Now.
Also, if someone can confirm, if you kill Brain Magnet on the stack, do you just lose the card? We just have blue mana yet. Just because it's been I wasn't really playing during Feros era, and typically after this point, they've changed it so that never really occurs.
And prepare.
Okay, I think Mystical Dispute does it. Or at least it makes the Manse a lot worse, so that was quite a nice draw. Have I done everything here? Okay. There was probably a lot of better ways to have done that, but I can't figure them out. To be honest, I can't. Okay, so the Maggot comes back. We get to tuck the Maggot next turn. And if they take the Mystical Dispute here, and firstly, I can just kill the Maggot in response to it, right? And then... Okay, well I think I definitely want to get rid of this. Okay, I think I found my line, because now we can do stuff. Sorry, I'm not thinking my thought process through very well while I'm talking. That seems completely fine to have.
That's more like it.
I'm gonna firstly dig for something to get us out of hand immediately.
Hurry!
And in the absence of that, I'm going to grant it. Okay, I was going to grant it for Unmoored Ego. Yeah, I'll keep that. There's nothing I can counter. So, yeah, play an Ashiok and just try and seal the deal. Possibly should have got rid of Mind Stone there, actually, in hindsight. But yeah, I guess 5-turn clock versus... Dear man, okay. Definitely could have played that optimally, but the result is what we want. Yeah, this deck has got a lot of complex lines to it, which I don't know how to deal with. I've also just realised I've hidden chat. I've been like, no one's chatting, and it's actually I've just got it hidden. So apologies for not responding to messages there. The reason for keeping Fae in the main board was just that if there's still cards I want to board in and I can't decide between them, or there's cards that are very niche, like for some reason, like they play a threat that we need to like enter the God Eternals for. A lot of the times I do take it out after game 1, to be fair. But in that instance I thought like, specifically like as a matchup, I don't think I brought Unmoored Ego in. If there's a matchup where Unmoored Ego it's one of those matchups where it's really good, but you hit a point where it doesn't do anything anymore. I quite like having Fae of Wishes to mean it's not a dead card. There's a lot of times this hand is not going to be great, but it feels fine. I mean, I'm notoriously bad at mulligans, so I'm very guilty of not wanting to mulligan in a lot of cases. 3, Help Collector. Okay, well, the hand with Kaya's Wrath in it feels better now. Oh, this is the Gruul deck I've been hearing so much about. Okay. Gallia. I mean, with 3 Tetheris in hand, I'm going to... It feels counterintuitive to bounce something when I want to Wrath, but my hope here is bouncing the Burning Tree Emissary will encourage him to play more things. Or actually, let me bounce Gallia, because they could get some fire advantage off Gallia. I suppose the Burning Tree Emissary play is probably actually quite neutral to them. Sorry about the Streamlabs thing, I will remember to turn it off today. I've got no problems with swearing or anything, I just haven't figured out how to turn it off. Yeah, see, this is the thing, and me and my friend have been talking about this, is what's weird for me is, this is literally the first time I've come up against Gruul in about 2 or 3 weeks of playing Historic. How greedy is it to Fort Erasure here? Like, I don't know the deck well enough to know if I'll just die on the spot, or if I'm putting myself in too much of a lethal range. I don't know if this plays like a Bushwhacker of sorts, whereas I could maybe... I assume this deck might play things like Questing Beast, or like a Gruul Spellbreaker they might not play next time. So... Oh, it also might get an Embercleave. Embercleave could just kill me outright. So if they've got 2 Embercleaves, I'm kind of screwed. Maybe 6, 8, 10. Well, this is the only way I'm going to learn is by trying things. Well, they do have 2 Embercleaves. Embercleave would be 6 damage here, 8, 10. So I don't think the Embercleaves actually kill me, but the Questing Beast might. Well, the Questing Beast would kill me after a Wrath at this point. So I think I have to do that. I hope I did my maths right. Because I'm pretty bad at doing my maths right. Discard another... Oh, well, yeah, I guess the Gallia draw as well. Yeah, I mean, this is how I'm going to learn about this matchup, because I literally haven't played it again before. I suppose there's a great danger of just anything hasty that deals 2 damage here. Yeah, that was probably a mistake. But yeah, I mean, I've not played against the matchup before, so now I know. That's how I'm going to learn. Okay, so Devout Decree is probably good here. Into the God Eternals is probably fine. Probably don't really care about the rest of this stuff, do I? And Intervention will kill an Embercleave at least. And Despark might kill Questing Beast, Embercleave. I don't know what else it might kill. Fair Wishes doesn't seem great here. I assume this is not the matchup for 3 Narsets. How many things are you gonna hit? Bone Crusher Giant, Ember Cleave, Western Beast. Possibly worth taking out a Search for Canter. Oh no, it's probably Dovin's Veto, isn't it? This feels fine. And this is like the weird thing is just like I've not really come up against a lot of the tier decks, just being stuck in gold hell. Let's try this. And if we had a raft there, we'd be in a lot better space. Bring to Spark in. You say that just as I hit go. I don't know what the delay is. Okay, well, that's a mulligan. I mean, this ain't great, but I don't know what 5 mana hand is better outside of 4 lands Kaya's Wrath, so get rid of Ashiok. I'm kind of glad to be playing against this matchup because it is the one I kind of need to learn the most. Because I get told this is like the top of the meta. So it would be handy. Galleon's a good card, isn't it, in this situation? So I need another black source for this Wrath. My temptation is to play Teferi bounce Pelt Collector. I guess there's also an argument for plussing Teferi here, because then they need to attack it with a buffed Pelt Collector and Stomp, or both and Stomp. So it might act as a damage sponge, but it also helps us find a black source. So also getting a black source? 30%. Let's make them deal with Teferi.
I've got it.
Because I guess the other advantage is if they have to start committing more resources to deal with Teferi, it will make the Wrath better. And yeah, 30% chance across 2 or 3 turns is not horrible. I'm not a mathematician by any stretch, but I guess the intervention can do something for us here. But yeah, it feels like they have to kind of like play another hasty thing to deal with it, like this. So, but that kind of works as well. Like it slows down the attack on us. Yeah, Pelt Collector has the potential to grow. It does, doesn't it? And I guess they get the Gallia loot here. I mean, this is the thing. Is like I just need to learn what this deck actually plays and whatnot. Riot would mean 3, 6, 8, 10. But I feel like the Bone Crusher Giant... Well, the Bone Crusher Giant represents the same amount of damage and a 4/3, so... No, don't go to the graveyard. Don't go to the graveyard. Okay, so we get to Wrath next turn if we survive. And hopefully they just commit... I mean, the Gallia provides quite a bit of card advantage, doesn't it? I can see why this deck is good. So Pelt Collector, probably the Zertar Goblin with haste, I assume. Yeah. Stomping Ground Trap, and then they get to draw 2. I suppose Gallia would be nice against like Nasa would be nice against Gallia, but it's not like that's ever going to come up. There's still a good chance we're dead. And this isn't an ideal situation because I mean we can Heliod's intervention for 8, but it feels like I'd want to top deck into the God Eternals or Basilica Bellhaunt or Kaya's Wrath or something. Not Kaya's Wrath, like Vraska's Content, like one of our life gain spells. Like It is one of the things I do like about this deck, is it does have a fair bit of incidental life gain in it. But yeah, this seems like a difficult matchup. Because when I first started with the list, it did have a bit more early interaction. But then, like, it just never ever came up against any aggressive decks. And it might be that if I try and push this to Diamond and Platinum and Mythic, then I'll need to adapt. I mean, I feel like the sideboard definitely needs to have a bit more of an aggro slant if that's the case. Although, I swear I read they're getting rid of Historic Ranked after Ikoria comes out, which would be a real shame. Yeah, if Gideon Allies Zendikar was in Historic, I feel like this deck would be a very nice home for it. I both loved and hated that card. Well, our opponent appears to be timing out. I assume they're not tilted about it, because they're still in a pretty strong position, but, you know, at this point on 3 life and a game down, you know, I'll take it. I'm not picky about where the wins come from in situations like this. Yeah, I'd be sad to see if Historic Ranked went, although I'm kind of very curious to kind of jump into Ikoria Standard as well. I've kind of been playing blue-white this season, and like occasionally dipping into Bant and Sultai, and I kind of feel like I'll probably start out with Jeskai Control just to see how good New Narset is. But I also feel like between the Tri-lands and all these kind of like multicolour spells, like there's real potential there for a situation similar to I mean, it's gain 3 life. Opponent is, I guess, disconnected, or felt really bad for us. Yeah, it does feel like with the mana base in Standard, you know, you've got the Tri-lands and these shocks and stuff. It does feel like there's the potential, unless there's one really fast aggressive deck that stops it happening, for like the days of Karn Standard. Oh, did our opponent return? It looks like it. Llanowar Elves. Okay. Is this to choose one or both? I've kind of like, part of my instinct is to block, but the other half, we have a way of dealing with Embercleave, and I don't feel like we're going to win the game just by sitting here. Especially if they play Totus. You don't die to Helios Intervention, do you? I do not like the gods. Like, just from a competitive context, they're just really annoying to deal with. That you only have like contextual exile. I feel like this Helios Intervention is going to pay off at some point. But, you know, we're in a pretty precarious position. I'm gonna guess this is for Erasure. Okay, so yeah, I mean, Fetch has helped a lot in Karn Standard. I think it just depends on how slow the format will be. I mean, this feels a bit more stable, but this Clotus is a real pain. We're drawing a lot of lands. I think we're probably at the point of needing to sit back now, because 1, 2, 3, yeah, any creature or thing just turns on Clotus as an attacker. Oh yeah, Jace Fringe Prodigy. If they could put that in Historic. I mean, if I ref now, what does this get me? Yes, if I don't Wrath, they could play like a Gruul Spellbreaker. And that would be 9 unblock damage. No, it'd be a minimum 8 unblock damage if I got Embercleave, that's it. But I guess if I got Gruul Spellbreaker and Embercleave, that's it anyway. I don't know. I feel like holding on to the Wrath for one more turn. Because I assume they would play something here. In order to get the attack in. And we're dead to like a Gruul Spellbreaker anyway. I keep thinking about play. There's a lot of cards here that I just don't play against very often, and it's kind of throwing me for a loop. So yeah, that probably should have been a Wrath as well. Because I'm going to take 5 here. Oh, is that what Glophis? Oh, Glophis is 7. Not 5. I'm definitely Wrathing now though. Probably could have got an attacking now if I thought about it. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I don't like the gods, is that like I technically have a removal spell for Glophis if it gets turned on. Until then, I don't. It's just a frustrating play pattern. The Bellhorn's nice, but we're still losing this race. And I have to figure the top decks for the opponent are probably a lot better at this point. So this is from a graveyard. So they've still got a lot of fuel for this. Ugh. This is a really annoying card to deal with. Exile card. It's basically a non-land card. Okay, well I'm not going to attack because it does speed up the clock a little bit and there's lots of haste creatures. Part of me actually really wants the Colossus to somehow get turned on. Just to be able to get rid of it. Because I'm in a really tricky spot without. I'm going to foray here though because I do want the Surveil. But yeah, I need to find. I think Elspeth. Nope, not that. I think it's got to be Elspeth Conquers Death, right? Or Devout Decree. Although Devout Decree again only hits creature. And that's the frustrating thing. It's either that or like I need like temporary life gain spells to get me there. I mean, what if I ain't it? Okay. I'm gonna have Vraska's Contempt now, because I think if I don't, I'll take 2, and then they can respond to a Vraska's Contempt for Stomp. And I think no, Stomp's instant speed. I probably should have done that end of last turn. But let's just get it out of the way. Okay, relax. That's right, turn off full control. Oh, thank God. I still can't attack. I think I just actually have to sit on the defensive, still. Just because I can die so quickly, and yeah, it's probably a much better route for me to wait till I can draw stuff from the area.
No time for a break.
And find stuff like that. Okay, well, this allows me to attack, because I can cast out what in. So I need to apply pressure where I can. So if they're playing, I guess, oh no, Questing Beast is legendary, isn't it? Why is that card legendary? It's the most frustrating thing in the world. Dire Fleet Daredevil. Okay, so this is probably another 4 Asia. Oh, it's a Vraska's Contempt. Well, that's annoying. I just about have the mana to do it. I mean, it wasn't the best top deck they could have had, but also by far the worst one. Now we need to sit back again. And I feel like one of the challenges with the Scroll deck is it does feel like red-green really does have a strong sideboard game against you. Between Clotus and like the Dire Fleet Daredevils, like okay, well, that'll do it. Probably made some mistakes there, just like effects of having not played against Scroll before, especially in that first game, but yeah, that's I can see why that's a tricky matchup for people. Because yeah, it feels like up until the last 2 years of Magic, like a red-green aggressive deck would really struggle to have sideboard game against a control deck. Ooh, I like this battlefield. Don't like this hand though. Don't like that hand either. Oh, that's not bad. Feel like Oath of Kaya could be a good stabilising card. Dovin's Veto I find is more situational than I like it. And Teferi can also buy some time. So let's go with this 5. Looks like the same matchup. I just feel at least like if this is going to be a more common matchup to play against, I feel like I can adapt to that fairly well. Whoa, Colossus. I've not seen that card in some time. 4 Arrange is a nice draw. It's a Spellbreaker, Bone Crusher Giant, Collision Colossus. I mean, Collision is a punt spell, that's annoying. Bone Crusher is pretty annoying. I'm going to say Bone Crusher, I think. It causes the most problems. I'll keep that Mortify. Hopefully we can Oath of Kaya a Spellbreaker if it comes down. Like hopefully they play it with haste. Like when you're playing Collision Colossus it makes you feel like you're going to go the hasty route. So we can play that. We'll have Mortify for the Pelt Collector. And hopefully we can draw some lands to deal with, to get the Elspeth Conqueror's Death out. Another Pelt Collector. So this allows them to collision here. So down to 6. Okay. Let's have a think about our options here. So Mortify, so they play Gruul Spellbreaker. As a 3/3, I imagine. No, they'll play it as a Riot 4/4, so that makes it a 4/4, a 2/2, and that will be lethal. Bounce the big Pelt Collector. They play a Spellbreaker with haste, attack for 4/5. Play the Spellbreaker, see what happens, Mortify what will kill me. Arena on Switch would be amazing. The other events. But if I do that, let's reset this time out. If we do that, then we still attack for 4 down to 2. Can't really bounce very effectively. Oh damn it! We're mortifying. I thought we'd have had a time bottle at that point. Okay, well this is probably the route where I play it as a 4/4. It isn't. We need to kill the Pelt Collector. No, we don't. It doesn't matter. We're dead anyway. Yeah, we're dead anyway because the Pelt Collector gets a death trigger. Well, I think the problem was timing out there. I do not like playing this matchup, I'll tell you that. It seems like a very strong, like a very quick deck. And man, there's so much resilience in the sideboard. Like that Clotis just dealt so much damage and shuts down your Elspeth Conquers Death, shuts down your Escanter. I think doing this has definitely woken me up to the fact that I probably need a better sideboard plan against aggro, or more mainboard action. So I've kind of been pulling back on things like Oath of Kaya and Legion's End because I just wasn't running into it. Oh man, the mulligans today. Okay, that's not a bad 6. Get rid of the Terry. Just feels like this and this are going to do more for us. Oath of Kaya is a nice draw there. See, what's remarkable to me is like quite a lot of these cards are in standard. It's like, why isn't there a standard version of this? It's like Gallia, Pelt Collector, Questing Beast, Cruel Spellbreaker. These are all cards in standard. Bone Crusher Giant. So what? Is it just that like Rakdos Sacrifice is too much of a problem for that deck, or the Nexus deck style, or what? We'll see what happens before attacks. See if they're going to get the 3 or more creatures here. Because if not, I might just kill the Bone Crusher Giant. Although... no, I think we still kill this. Although at this point, if they're not playing a haste creature, I should wait till they attack and play the Collision Colossus. Ooh, I'm making a lot of mistakes. Cindervines. That's it's getting straight up stomped. Okay, well, Enter the God Eternal seems most sensible here. Well, that's a Questing Beast and Embercleave down. No creatures in the graveyard yet. There's the second Bone Crusher. Well, let's try and make them do double attack and just take our licks off the Bone Crusher and eat the Zertar Goblin. Well, they just don't do that at all. I just want to use this Cast Down because Elspeth Conquers Death will deal with Questing Beast, which Cast Down won't. Oh, this Cindervines is so annoying. 1 damage every time I cast a non-creature spell. Is that my entire deck? Sacrifice it, destroy a target or enchantment, it deals 2 damage to that controller. Woof. Embercleave. Okay, well, I'm glad they didn't attack with that. Yeah, I kind of have to get rid of that Embercleave, don't I? Right, that card will just cause me too many problems. Yeah, I feel like had they attacked with the Zertar Goblin, it probably would have just died. Or at least makes it a lot more tricky. I'm kind of very hopeful they Cinder Vines this Elspeth Conquers death, because we can't recur anything at this point. And it's gonna... I'd rather take 2 now than keep being pinged. Where's Questing Boost? So we have to trade here. So down to 5. We're going to go up to 8 and get the last card in hand, hopefully. I really am keen. Like, they keep hovering over the Cinder Vines. So... the only advantage to keeping a card in hand is an extra 2 life off Helios Intervention. Although, yeah, I feel like if you're in the opponent's shoes, you don't really play around stuff at this point. You just make sure I have it. Okay, I'm really pleased about that, because I couldn't get anything back with it. Like, that Elspeth Conquer's death was just going to fizzle. This makes me think they found an Ember Cleave. Oh no. Oh. I'm very confused. Got the oops. Feel like attacking here is probably sensible. Until they play a threat. This Cinder Vines, number 2 is quite annoying. At this point, a hasty anything plus 2 here, and me pinging myself is going to be too much, so I have to kind of sit here for now. Yeah, this is what I was thinking. If they played this as a 3-3, I'd be in trouble. I'm still in trouble. I just have to take the 1 from the Cinder Vines here to kill it. I also don't know why I'm playing these things at sorcery speed. I think I'm just... a few hours of streaming is making me play a lot slower and a lot poorer than I should. Hey, Vraska's Contempt is its removal and its life gain. That's all I want right now. I assume this is Member Cleave or Collision Colossus. 1 damage to that player. I think attack. Bounce my own Bellhaunt to hand.
I have a plan.
And get whatever card they have left. I do have the Fort Erasure, but I can, if Teferi survives, which they can't target Teferi right now. If Teferi survives, then I can upkeep Fort Erasure. The hits just keep on coming though.
I've got time.
I'm just playing the lands now because a massive Helios intervention could really make the difference. Oh right, I didn't plus Teferi. And minus Teferi. We might be dead here. The right combination of things from the opponent. I'm definitely taking 6, so Stomp, anything like that. Oh no, maybe not. Oh yeah, yeah. What's the delay? I swear I did the math right. Oh no, we're just dead to Cinder Vines. Okay, well, definitely some mistakes there. This feels like a very difficult matchup. I think that is our third loss. It is 3-3. Not great. Sleeve 3,000 gold. Remember when people thought they could do something busted with this card? Pepperish Farm remembers. Allosaurus conquers Galleon. Well, if I want to play Merfolk. Okay, that was pretty fun. What have we learned today? I need more plans against Gruul. But yeah, that was pretty fun. I don't think I can do more, but it's 9:05, and man's got to eat. So yeah, thank you for those of you who came along. I'll be uploading this to YouTube. I have a YouTube, which I think is youtube.com/thesonata. I'll be back streaming Magic on Monday. I'll be streaming Suikoden on Thursday. And I'll probably be streaming a bit more Magic than usual next week, from Friday onwards for the Ikoria release. We'll get down to some limited, and that should be pretty fun. So yeah, have a nice evening, have a nice Easter, thanks for coming along. I guess like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. It helps numbers go up, which is apparently good.